USC started out as a Catholic college for women in the 50s. It soon expanded to include a men's college and the Immaculate Church. In 1972, the colleges merged and formed what is now the University of San Diego. The Catholic faith, the school's leaders also committed to humanism and academic freedom. Currently, more than 30% of USC's undergraduates profess to faiths other than Catholicism. USC's core values include academic excellence, knowledge, community, ethical conduct, and compassionate service. Their mission statement is, the University of San Diego's diverse educational community is dedicated to developing the whole person intellectually, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. This community is inclusive and open to each individual's strengths and opinions. USC constantly strives to provide a professional climate that is both effective and flexible. We're a faith-based institution with a mission to roll up our sleeves and put our values in action. Our students, faculty, and staff are engaged in our community and throughout the world in academic and service missions that reflect those values. Rooted in the social teachings of the Roman Catholic Church, the university welcomes students, faculty, and staff from all faiths, from all beliefs. All people benefit from the examination of other traditions.
Using the onion theory, we're able to create our research question on finding the disconnect between the spouse values and the basic underlying values. So any company culture, there's three basic components that make them up. Observable artifacts, the spouse values, and basic underlying assumptions. To better understand the differences between these components, you can think of a company's culture like an onion. The observable artifacts are easily seen by outsiders and lie on the skin of the onion. Outsiders can easily make interpretations about what the company's values are based on that, but until they peel back the skin layer, they cannot see the deeper values of espoused and basic underlying assumptions. Observable artifacts are the manifestations of an organization's culture that can easily be seen or talked about. Artifacts supply the primary resources of what the culture is to a workforce. The main artifacts that include symbols, physical structures, language, stories, rituals, and ceremonies. USD's observable artifacts would be its prominent Catholic tradition, which can be seen in the school's symbols, which has the Immaculate Church on it. Other prominent symbols would be crosses that are above school, classroom doors, crosses on buildings, and the churches here. Other physical structures that explain USD's culture would be the singulars, Spanish architecture that's along the school. Espoused values are the beliefs, philosophies, and norms that a company explicitly states. Espoused values can range from published documents such as a company's vision or mission statement, or emails that we would receive at USD that explain the changemaker values or the vision for 2024 here. The final layer to the onion is the basic underlying assumptions. The basic underlying assumptions are taken for granted beliefs and philosophies that are ingrained into employees, simply acted to them rather than questioning their validity. Some of these values at USD can include diversity and inclusion. It's harder to see these values unless you're more into being involved with the United Front Multicultural Center, which is a very small part of the university, or multicultural organizations on campus.
The first question of our research is where are there disconnects between espoused and assumed values at USD? And the first question of this question is, does USD seem to follow their Catholic core values they claim? There is a strong disconnect with some of the professors and students. They disagree that they're not as Catholic as they thought when they first came to USD, and there are limits to American mainstream Catholicism. The second part is the second part about USD being inclusive. There is a strong disconnect because everyone we interviewed had a different point of view and answer, but they all agreed upon one thing, which is USD had to improve themselves to be more inclusive. The third part is about USD fulfilling their change maker claims. Most of the students and the professors think they're actually achieving their claims, uh, but there's one professor and one student that they think they did not achieve the ultimate goal yet. Thank you.
For students, the stated disconnected do not affect the satisfaction with the school, because the one we interviewed did not value the Catholic views and trying immediate change in the world in their education. Students value inclusion and fairness among themselves and they feel like they are getting that there. Students are satisfied regardless of the disconnect of USD exposed value and hidden value. However, for the smaller portion of the school that have strong cultural value disconnected, there is a lack of satisfaction with the university due to the lack of action done to help make certain students feel more inclusive to the basic underlying value and exposed value. The USD professor that we interviewed found some disconnected with their expectation of how traditional Catholic USD is going to be and how it's in reality. The professor felt that the basic underlying Catholic value were watered down or limited to mainstream American Catholicism rather than the stated traditional value. However, those disconnected in USD faith and practice do not affect this professor's satisfaction with the school. Also, there was no major opposition to job satisfaction from the professor. There was a sense from professors like Pulido that they grow to adapt to the cultural value of the school and lower their own personal value in order to not be unsatisfied with the job.
Our recommendations for UST after our analysis is that people UST needs to keep their eyes and ears open for what others have been through and what they're experiencing, so that we can fix the issue that anyone felt left out, and also to extend the Changemaker project to a larger community, and also to diversify students in a deeper level so that UST can keep their minority students after first year. By not only have clubs and organizations for each ethnic group, also to make sure that each ethnic groups blend well with other groups, and also not only accepting more minority students, also to make sure that minority students and majority students fit in